Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
The gyms must stay closed. Governor Whitmer scoring a late-night legal victory just hours before gyms were set to reopen their doors. Good to have you with us tonight for Local 4 News at 11. The ruling by an appeals court means indoor gyms will not be allowed to reopen this week in Michigan per the governor's emergency order.
Our Mara McDonald joins us live to break down tonight's ruling. Mara.
Hi, Kimberly. You know, some gyms like this Powerhouse in Troy had already opened up. What this ruling says is that, well, it's in the governor's power to keep them closed. Let me try and explain what's happened here because we've had two very different rulings in the span of a week. The first ruling that came down came from a federal judge here in Michigan. And here's what he wanted to know. He asked the governor and her lawyers, do you have facts, data, science that shows that opening up these gyms is going to cause some greater harm than, say, opening up restaurants? That federal judge determined that no, the state didn't have any of that evidence, so he ruled in favor of these gym owners. Fast forward to tonight. The governor appeals that ruling to the Sixth Circuit Court of Appeals. That's one court down from the Supreme Court. And those appellate judges aren't interested in facts, data, or science. They're looking at something called rational basis, what Local 4 legal expert Neil Rockine calls a really small stone that the governor had to step over. In other words, does the governor have the rational basis to believe that opening these gyms in the middle of a pandemic is going to cause a problem? And those justices found out or said, yes. She does have that rational basis. Listen to Rockine as he breaks it down.
While this may be a unique situation, given that we're in a pandemic, that neither are going to say whether Governor Whitmer is right or whether she's wrong. What they're going to say is that under the current state of the law, she has the power to issue these rulings and these executive orders, and ultimately it will be up to the citizenry to decide whether they're okay with it.
Back here live, and Neil says to pay a special attention to the very final paragraph in this ruling because those appellate judges mention that. They say, we sympathize deeply with the business owners and their patrons affected by the governor's order. Neil says usually they don't say stuff like that. It's not something that they find in their orders. And then they go on to say, those measures can have extreme costs that are not often borne evenly. The decision to impose those costs rests with the political branches of government, in this case, Governor Whitmer. So, bottom line, does the citizenry, do the people of the state of Michigan think the costs are worth it when it comes to election time? We're live in Troy tonight. I'm Mara McDonald, Local 4.
Yeah, all right, Mara. Now, the decision to keep gyms closed here in Michigan comes as the U.S. reports 36,358 new cases in the past 24 hours, and that is a single-day record, topping the previous high that was set in late April. So with cases spiking in nearly half the country, several states are trying to take new steps to prevent the further spread of the virus.
New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut have issued a travel alert that takes effect at midnight, requiring travelers coming from states with high coronavirus rates, such as Florida and Texas, to quarantine for 14 days. Closer to home in East Lansing, an outbreak of cases linked to Harper's Bar between June 12th and June 20th is now up to 34 people infected. The Ingham County Health Department is asking anyone who visited the bar during that time to self-quarantine. Meanwhile, across the state, we had our highest number of new COVID-19 cases since May. The state says there are 323 new cases along with 4 additional deaths. We asked our Dr. Frank McGeorge why we might be seeing a rise in cases in the past 24 hours.
A large single-day increase in confirmed cases doesn't necessarily mean things are distinctly different. There's more information you really need. For example, are the new cases related to a single location outbreak rather than a larger community-wide pattern? It's also more important to follow the trend or moving average that's established over about a week or two. Today's number isn't a good thing, but it may not be as bad as it looks by itself.
All right, Doc, and you can track daily cases, including a county-by-county breakdown, by going to the homepage at clickondetroit.com.
Cool, dry evening, but Ben does have a little activity on Storm Tracker 4.
Ben, what parts of our area could be affected, do you think?
It was the west zone, and Little was right, guys. It was just that rogue storm that rolled down 94, and you probably saw it because it was the only thing in the sky with those clouds that were really growing outside of mostly clear skies otherwise. That's starting to fade, maybe a few showers left there as it continues into parts of Wayne County. This is the bigger issue that we're staring at, and it's Friday evening into Saturday morning. Slight risk has already been posted. This is the day 3 outlook, guys. So when we see a slight risk that far out, it's definitely something that we should pay attention to. We'll talk more about timing of this and how much more of the weekend is going to be storm-filled in just a few minutes. Okay.
All right, Ben. A protest in Shelby Township becomes contentious when counter-protesters show up. The rally near the township offices was again to call attention to social media comments by the police chief, Robert Shalide. Shalide has apologized and is on administrative leave. Shortly after the protests began, though, another group with a different message joined in. Jason Colthorpe live in Shelby Township tonight. Safe to say, Jason, the mood shifted
immediately, Devin, and it led to some very tense face-to-face confrontations. Take a look. Protesters calling for the firing of Shelby Township Police Chief Robert Shalide almost immediately saw signs and flags flying that they were not expecting.
I need you to back off 6 feet, ma'am. You don't have a mask on. Please back off.
You walked up on her, brother. You walked up on her. Hey, you walked up on her. I'm going to protect her, okay?
A small group of self-described supporters of police and President Donald Trump tried to quietly upstage the 70 or so protesters, but were met with some opposition.
Black entertainment television,
that's right.
huh? And Oprah, don't even get that thing near my face. You will lay down. You will lay down.
You want it all.
Yeah.
You cannot sit here and attack men in blue, first responders. You shouldn't be attacking anybody.
The idea that we have to argue that Black lives indeed matter is what angers me. Because the idea that I can walk around and just sit and just ask for people to think that my life matters. We're not asking for much. Not more than others, not superior, matters.
So you're standing with us against the wrong people?
Yes.
Give me a high five.
I'm here for the police. The police are good.
The ones who are right?
Yes.
Give me a high five.
Yeah.
Okay. That's
I'm
who
here
else?
for the
You
right
too?
one.
Huh?
We're here for the right
Ain't no hate.
Eventually, the group settled on opposite sides of Van Dyke, campaigning for the support of passing cars. There were plenty of fists, but even more fists with a finger extended. Boy, there were a lot of those. And by the way, no arrests in this fact. Police were never even out here on scene, which is kind of surprising because in that video you see just how close those protesters were to the road, and a lot of cars were coming awfully close. But these protesters went about 2 hours, and they say they'll get back at it and be out here again next Wednesday. In Shelby Township tonight, I'm Jason Colthorpe, Local 4.
All right, Jason. Now to a Local 4 News update. Detroit police tonight impounding the Dodge Charger from this video doing donuts on Jefferson in front of 2 police vehicles. The viral video posted on Instagram shows a 17-year-old driver doing dangerous stunts with young passengers inside. Police say the vehicle was found in Grosse Pointe. The officers on the scene have not been identified, but a warrant is expected to be submitted to the prosecutor this week.
3 staff members are now facing charges in the death of a teenager who died while being restrained at a youth center in Kalamazoo. Cornelius Fredericks was living at Lakeside for Children foster care facility where he was allegedly restrained by staff for 10 minutes while saying he could not breathe. The 3 staff members are being charged with involuntary manslaughter. On Detroit's east side, an apartment building goes up in flames. The building at the corner of East Grand Boulevard and Agnes has been under renovation with only 15 of the 75 units currently occupied. We're told the fire started in an unoccupied unit. The cause is unclear. No injuries have been reported.
An investigation is underway tonight after a noose is found at Grosse Pointe South High School. The building has been under construction while the school's been closed. And for the last month, the only people inside, we're told, have been the Turner Construction Group. They found the noose while conducting a safety walkthrough last night and immediately blocked off that room.
While no GPPSS staff or students were thought to be involved in this incident, the district is participating fully in the investigation as we are committed to ensuring all people feel safe in our schools. Hate and intolerance have no place in our society or in our district.
Construction company says it is cooperating with the investigation, which will likely utilize the school's 200 camera security system, which has been up and running, by the way, during the closure.
While tens of thousands of Michiganders are still waiting for unemployment benefits, today the Unemployment Insurance Agency director went in front of lawmakers in Lansing, vowing to get through all unpaid claims by next week.
For the less than 12,000 that applied prior to May 1 and are still waiting a decision, we have set a goal of clearing that backlog by July the 4th.
We've heard from a lot of viewers over the past 3 months about how difficult it has been to get through to the unemployment office by phone, something the director acknowledges and says the state will begin shifting workers' focus to the phone lines next week. A warning tonight about a popular brand of bottled water.
Yeah, dangerous chemical found inside. We'll have a look at which store sells it.
And a toddler badly burned by illegal fireworks. New tonight, the video his family is sharing to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else. Ben.
We'll get to Ben in just a minute, but first coming up, a judge who issued a ruling to enforce face coverings confronts a shopper not wearing a mask. What happened inside this Lowe's could lead to felony charges. Next.